This is Derek with Worldwide Road. Thanks for coming to the channel today. Today we're going to be taking a look at Atlas's new Premier catalog for the fall 2022. There's been a lot of chatter already about this catalog. There's some exciting stuff that's in here. So let's jump right into it. As always, be sure to subscribe and like. It really helps the channel. It helps make everything work out better. And be sure to let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on what you're going to pre-order from this catalog, what you like, what you dislike, and all of that. So let's dive right into it. So as usual, right, we're going to get right to the locomotives. So as you know, Atlas acquired a lot of the tooling from MTH, especially the diesels, and they're going to be doing they're going to be using the ProtoSound 3 system. So that means you will need a DCS TIU interface to connect with your engines if you want to run them remotely. That said, they run just fine conventionally, and there should be a new WTIU coming out hopefully in the next year or so. But again, it's hard to know because of the supply chain issues and all of that. So we'll see. But anyway, right, we've got the ES44AC up here. We've got several different schemes. We've got the BNSFF, BNSF with the missing F, right, with the door. From what I've read and heard, that's apparently prototypical. The door is actually missing for this number for 5738. So if someone's heard otherwise, let me know. But that's what I've heard. So let's get this in a little bit closer. There we go. Perfect. So that's there. We've got Canadian Pacific in two different liveries, right? Every Child Matters and the Hapag-Lloyd. And then we've got Canadian National, 100th Anniversary, and Kansas City Southern. But the safety starts here. I'm not a big fan, honestly, of modern diesels. I think they're cool enough looking, right? I own a couple, to be sure. But that said, I suffer from the syndrome of they all look the same to me. So yeah, we'll see. I do like this orange, and so I may do this Canadian Pacific one. We'll see. We'll see. Going forward, right, there's a few more ES44 ACs here, right? You've got Union Pacific and another BNSF here. So again, if you're a Union Pacific fan or BNSF, definitely some options here for you. Again, I know plenty of people order these and they do love them, and good on them. It's not the thing for me. We do have some ES44 DCs as well, and the CSX livery. We have the Western Maryland emblem, and we've got the CSX Spirit of Cincinnati. Now, I do like the CSX scheme, but again, I probably am not going to get any more modern diesels. If I choose to get anything, I'll order just one from all of this in the catalog. It's not that interesting to me to have a bunch of diesels. I do know, like for consist, people will go to 2 or 3 of them, right? To be very prototypical. And maybe somewhere down the road, I will convince myself to buy 2 or 3 BNSFF or CSX or something, one of these road names, so that I can do a prototypical consist. But at the time, I prefer variety over having 2 or 3 of the same engine. So that's where I'm at. As you can see, the 44 ACs are going to be coming in at $79.95. Now, I'm sure if you pre-order through one of your local store, something like that, you may get somewhere between a 10 to 15% discount on that. I have seen that already online in some places. And the DCs are also going to be $679.95. So yeah, so we'll see. Definitely going to be cool. And this is for the 3-rail, right? Atlas does do 3-rail and 2-rail. So as you can see, they also have 2-rail here for the locomotives. They're the same price in this case. So now, after that, we're jumping right into their Premier rolling stock, right? So the Atlas Premier rolling stock is the tooling that has come from MTH. And as you can see, we've got a whole slew of railroads here. We've got Alaska Railroad, Burlington Northern, Conrail, Southern Pacific, Denver, Rio Grande, and Western, Chicago, and Illinois. They've also got a limited edition Fallen Flags 3-pack, Anthracite Roads Alternative History. which is pretty cool. If you're really into like those alternative lines and or schemes and all of that, then this is definitely worth getting for you. They've got the Central New Jersey, Lehigh Valley, and the Beeline service here. So cool. If you want some coal hoppers, they are certainly nice cars. Don't sleep on them. I'm not. I've got a handful of coal hoppers for a certain consist already. I'm not sure if I'm interested in a more modern slew of them right now. Uh, but definitely, if you're looking for a modern consist of coal hoppers, these are good. These are really nice, and they look great. And the Fallen Flags one, right, is not too bad either. You get a 254 for the 3-pack there. And again, as always, there's the 3-rail and 2-rail. It is interesting, right? Since I've been back to the hobby and started looking at Atlas's catalogs, the 2-rail cars, they're sometimes a bit more expensive than the 3-rail. So, for example, here you can see they're 84 for the 3-rail, right? 84.95, and for the 2-rail, they're 89.95. So I'm curious as to why the difference in price there, right? What makes them more expensive for 2-rail? Next up, we've got the Premier 75-foot depressed center flat cars with the load. So these are pretty cool. At least I personally think I'm always a big fan of the oversized rolling stock type car. It pops on the layout. It's different. Usually the loads or the cars themselves are not what you see all the time, right? I feel like at least when I was a kid growing up, you show up and you see the cars running, and it's lots of your regular box cars or gondolas or hoppers, right? Like earlier, and those are fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but I like to see these mammoth cars, whether they be engines or rolling stock like this. So this one's got the load on it, right? Um, I don't know if anyone will be. These seem cool to me. I certainly will be ordering at least one, maybe more. Um, I do actually have an SD70 Ace Heritage unit from MTH with that's Western Pacific. So since I have that, I'm probably going to do the Western Pacific one. Um, but again, might do one of the other ones as well. Not dedicated to having it be Western Pacific, but yeah, we'll see. But definitely worth picking up these. They are probably going to be difficult to find if you don't pre-order them. Typically, bigger cars like this, right? Stores don't necessarily order a ton of extra for them, because we are in this build to order era. It's definitely wise to pre-order ahead of time. And worst case scenario is this, right? You pre-order, it gets here, you find that you're not, I'm not that excited about it. It's not as cool as I thought it would be, um, or maybe it doesn't navigate your layout, right? These bigger cars do usually require 072 or 060 curves. And if it doesn't navigate your layout, it'd probably be easy to sell. So that's not the worst thing in the world, right? You get a car, you decide, not for me. Big special cars like this usually are pretty easy to move afterwards. Again, especially because we're in the built to order era. So uh, whatever is built, and then there's nothing more. And usually we don't get reruns of the same car from a manufacturer at least for a few years for at least for a few years. So yeah, we'll see. Um, I actually think it's pretty awesome that the 3-rail pricing for these, it's only $90, right? These are big cars. They are not small at all. And if you go back, just for a moment, right? Like this is a $90 car. Let me go back, right? Look at the size of these hoppers, right? These hoppers are big, but it's a 4-bay hopper. But the hoppers are 85, and for a car that is definitely significantly bigger, um, they are only $5 more. So to me, that's a pretty good deal, comparatively speaking, against the hoppers. Granted, there's a bit difference in like the car and all of that, but I think for a large car like that, it's pretty cool. And yeah, like as you can say, right, it operates on an 054 curve for 3-rail. So you definitely like don't want to ignore that. I'm sure you could run it on a smaller curve, but yeah, definitely make sure you've got the large curves to handle these cars. Next up, we've got some Premier 20,000 gallon 4 compartment tank cars. These are quite nice looking tank cars. I know there's been a lot of tank cars recently put out by Lionel and MTH and Atlas and everyone really. And I do like a good tank car, but I've just not been wowed, thrilled, what call it what you want, by the latest offerings. Maybe it's just nothing looked appealing enough to me. I don't know. So yeah, it is what it is, but these tank cars actually look quite good to me. I think these are pretty cool. And as someone who basically has no tank cars whatsoever, I would definitely going to add a few to my fleet with this round here in the catalog. I know the only tank car I actually have downstairs in the basement with the layout is the old Lionel Sunoco one from, decades ago. Great car, right? But not prototypical. But yeah, I really like the schemes here for these ones. I think the CSX looks great. I think the GAT-X looks cool. It's very striking with that teal and blue, or aquamarine green, or whatever you would like to call it exactly. I think those are really striking. So definitely looking at picking up those couple. And then we'll see, maybe some of the other ones here. Um, Again, I think tank cars, a lot of people have them. They're not usually um, cars that like, I don't think, again, like they're like not like the depressed flat car, right? They're cool, they're nice, but they're not, they don't, people don't go, wow, like I wish I had ordered that usually, right? Um, so I think but I do think some things like the GAT X1, like cars that pop, I do think they have a higher potential afterwards if you decide you don't want it. They have a higher potential for being resold, and will be easier to resell. So definitely worth looking at these. If you don't have them, and if you don't have any tank cars, and if you do, they may still can be a completely worthwhile pickup. And these are $90 too. So bit interesting, right? Like they are um, the same price as the depressed flat car. So there you go. Um, they do have a lot of added on detail though, right? You can see that here in the pictures. They've got all this extra detail. So I am excited to see that in person when they do get here. And as you can see, they do operate on 042 curves. So these will definitely operate on your smaller layouts. And then jump into the cabooses. If you don't have a Premier, or if you don't have a caboose, or you're looking for one of the following paint schemes, definitely worth picking them up. They're great looking cabooses, great detail. Again, this is the former MTH tooling. So you're going to be getting a good quality, nicely detailed caboose. I think some of the paint schemes here look awesome. I don't know if I'll be picking up anything. Again, I like to run a lot of passenger trains, and a lot of the freight trains I run, I already have a caboose that's appropriate for the line that's running. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be picking anything up from here. I do have like a desire to pick up the Central Railroad of New Jersey one, mostly because I'm originally from New Jersey, so it would be cool to get that caboose. But again, we'll see. I like a nice caboose, but I don't know, just not my thing. Uh, I don't need to have a ton of extra cabooses lying around. So anyway, they are going to be running for 90 as well. And these are smaller cabooses, right? They're not, that's which is nice about them. So they're going to operate on an 031 radius, which is good, right? These are good cars for if you have a smaller layout. You can definitely run these cabooses on that layout. So these are great. So now we're on to the Atlas Master, right? So this is Atlas's tooling. These cars, this rolling stock is extremely hot. As you've probably already seen out there on social media, on some places, the last time these were in a catalog, which is like a couple of years ago, I think it was a 2020 or 2019. If you didn't pre-order them, you didn't get them. And it actually took a couple of years for them to get in. Now, granted, we had COVID, we had the supply chain logistics issues. So hopefully this time around, we will not get those 2 year, when when they say, oh, it's going to be here in December, it'll be here in the, where does it say we're going to get them? But it's actually not saying, is it? Well, hopefully, right, we'll get, I thought it said earlier that we're, pre-order by this. Well, hope our estimated arrival, right? It's down there. So let's see, what's the estimated arrival? Fourth quarter 2023. All right, so fingers crossed, right, that we will get these in the fourth quarter of next year. I certainly hope so. It'd be great to see them. As someone who doesn't really have anything like this, these are impressive cars on the track. If you've seen any of the other videos by anyone else out there who has them, you'll know what I'm talking about. These are die-cast, as I am given to understand. I mean, they are fantastic cars. Now, which ones you'll pick, it's hard to say, right? For me, I find the TTX company on track for a cure. I'm definitely going to get one of these in the pink. I've picked up a couple of the Gunderson High Cube box cars in the last catalog, in the spring one, I think it was. I definitely pre-ordered at least one of the on track for a cure gondolas. I think it was a gondola. And yeah, so this one's important to me. Plenty of people in my family have been through this. So it matters to me. And I definitely think it's obviously for a good cause. So we'll be definitely ordering one of those. And then they are not cheap cars, right? It's 3 cars in one pack effectively. So I'm probably only going to be ordering 2 of these right now. And with that said, I'll probably be doing On Track for a Cure and the TTX company, the blue here, right? The X brand TTX with TTX logo. Probably that blue one because it pops, right? Again, I like to get freight cars, whether they're fantasy or not fantasy. When possible, I like to get the rolling stock that pops a bit. You can see 1,000 black or brown, coal coppers or other cars any day of the week, right? But the other colors, not so much. And I've already got plenty of, regular brown or black hoppers and other cars like that. So for me, I like to get cars that are a bit more colorful. Makes it a bit more fun to watch the trains when they're running for me. So as you can see, right, the cars are not cheap. You're looking at 309 for them brand new. Now, that said, if you're going through your dealer, you're probably going to be getting anywhere from 10 to 20% off. And so if you're getting 10 to 20% off, you're looking at somewhere in the range of maybe 60 or 35 to 60 some dollars off. So they'll be more around 270, 280, maybe, a little bit less than that. So definitely be sure to pre-order, right? Because again, I think this time, given the response we saw to these, that stores will hopefully pre-order extras beyond what they initially receive, just so they have stock to sell. But even those I expect to go fast. And you're not going to get the pre-order price if you don't pre-order. So definitely put in that pre-order. Now, of course, the cars don't come with their containers, so you're going to want to buy the containers. They do have 6 different containers here, available with all different road numbers and new paint schemes. I would say that, if you've ever seen one of these trains, like a prototypical consist isn't just all the same container, although you certainly can do that, right? They do have the road numbers, so it's not like you can't. For me, I'm definitely going to be looking at probably doing one of each times 2, because I'm going to have a total of 6 of those cars, and that'll need a total of 12 containers so that I can have 2 stacked on each one. Now, I'm not going to lie, it is a bit of a hard pill to swallow, right? These are just plastic containers. They have great detail. Like if you've seen the video of the previous run, the detail's fantastic. It's very good. It's very nice. They are great containers, but they aren't cheap, right? A single container is going to run you 35 bucks. Again, you're going to get your discount for pre-ordering from your local store, but oof, like 35 bucks for a container on top of like the fact that the car already costs as much as it does. You know, this rolling stock is not cheap rolling stock. Um, so you know, wherever you can get a discount, you should definitely take it. Um, I'm probably gonna go with the assortment one and assortment two pack. It gives you a six pack with different road numbers. It gives you like one of each of the that we just saw. And this way, right, if you're ordering six of them, you'd be paying 210. So you're not getting a discount doing the assortment pack, really, which is a shame. It'd be nice to get a little bit of more of a discount by doing that, but I don't know. What can you do, right? This is one of those things though where I do have a resin 3D printer, so I am going to be looking into trying to do container resin printing containers. So we'll see how that goes, right? Oh, and you know, let's take one quick look, right? Okay, so these cars, right, they're going to be an 054 minimum radius. But that said, like 054 minimum radius for the cars here for the Gunderson Maxi four wheel cars. I mean, they say 054, but make sure you've got good clearance around your track. Because if you don't, you're going to be running into stuff with them for sure. So, yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, definitely don't sleep on this. If you either were out of the hobby last time they were available, like me, um, or if you just didn't get them for whatever reason, like, yeah, I know they're not cheap, right? It's like, ugh, I'm paying 210 for one car, but you're really getting three, so it's really like 70 bucks a car, which is actually better than any of the other pricing on the cars here. It's not so bad. Um, but then obviously you've got the containers, right? So if you add the quasi like $70 cost to each car, now you're looking at 140 per car. So it is more expensive in that sense. Um, so yeah, so you know, don't sleep on it. Definitely worth looking at, and I will be getting a couple this time. But that's probably about it. So next up, we've got more of Atlas's 40-foot steel reefers. I love these. I think they're great looking cars. I love seeing um, the different symbols on them, the logos and all of that. Right? You've got Valentine Heritage Triple XL, India Paleo, the WFEX X Northern Pacific. Yeah, I think these are good looking box cars. Um, Not that one. Not the brown one. You don't need another brown boxcar. Sorry. Don't do that. Just don't. You know what I'm talking about. Um, but get these other ones. Yeah, you know, these are good looking cars. Um, I'm sure stores will order a few of these. They'll probably sit around for a little bit. Everyone's got a box car. Everyone's probably got a lot of box cars. Um, I've got a lot of box cars actually at this point. A lot of Atlas ones even. So if there's someone here that you like particularly, you know, tickles your fancy, right? You're a big fan of like India Pale Ale or something like that, definitely worth getting one of them. Or if you want some of the Northern Pacific or etc., they're definitely worth getting. But otherwise, like these are not the things that I think you could skip on these and you're not going to feel remorse later on and be like, ah, like should have bought that. You won't have the FOMO. You won't be kicking yourself. Um, and these are actually like for 40-foot box cars, they're 92.95. And to me, you know, we saw the price on the tank cars and all of that. Um, and they were cheaper than this. So, I mean, their box, don't get me wrong, Atlas makes some very nice detailed box cars. You know, I've shown unboxing, at least I think the Halloween one, just recently on the channel, and it looks great. Uh, but I don't know, like $93 for another box car, brand new. Um, and yeah, that's hard for me. Um, that's that's hard for me to swallow for that. So, and then we've got more boxcars. Dun dun dun. So these are the 40-foot high cubes. Again, the high cubes are nice. And if you are looking for a specific road name here, um, definitely worth getting. Or you want to get like General Electric or something like that. I would definitely get one of these if you are looking for the high cubes. They are nice box cars. Um, Maybe like the CSX Operation Lifesaver. Special ones like that. I think the CSX, like Operation Lifesaver, the General Electric, these are cars that are, yeah, when we get another run of the 40-foot high cube boxcar, you're not going to see those. You'll see more Union Pacific, you'll see more Southern Pacific or Burlington probably. But some of these other ones, not so much, right? It's like, for example, officially licensed by OLI. We're probably not going to get that again. So that's something to keep in mind. Um, you're not gonna necessarily see those again. And these ones are cheaper. These are only 80 a piece, right? So definitely worth keeping in mind. And as always, like Atlas does a pretty good job with this for most of their rolling stock. You can get they get two road numbers. So you can get two, they'll have different road numbers. Some people pay attention to that and are very nitpicky about being prototypical. It's like, oh, you can't have two cars with the same road number. And some people, you don't care, it's fine. Um, I'm personally like, I'm not sitting there with magnifying glass going, "Oh, you've got more than, you've got two cars with the same road number." So that's not who I am. So if you just want like, a whole consist of 10 Southern Pacific box cars like this one, go for it, right? Do what makes you happy. This is a hobby. Um, so that's that. Uh, and now, arriving at the store, right? Some of these were from the spring. I know I've already seen some of them out there on people's channels and all of that. The GP40 Operation Lifesaver, the Treeman, the 52-foot 6-inch flat car with load. I've definitely seen that. The Premier 40-foot PS1 Crane Piece Edition boxcar. These should be arriving soon on the Halloween car. So, if you didn't pre-order those, check with your local stores, see if they're there, um, see if you can get them. Uh, and of course, there's some accessories here, right? They've got some double traffic signals, which are cool. Um, they've also got these cool pedestrian crosswalks. I think these are actually pretty cool and quite nice. Um, I would actually like to get one, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger on that. My layout is still in such a state of being worked on that I would just sit in the box for a while. And I'd rather just maybe hope that it comes back around in the near future and I pick it up then. So that's the catalog, right? As always, there's track. These are some other accessories that are available at like your local hobby shop, so be sure to take a look at them or check Atlas's website, right? They may be available on their website if they have some in their warehouse. And then here are the pricing for all of those accessories. So anyway, thanks for joining the channel today. Thanks for listening to me and going through this catalog. What are you thinking of ordering? What are you going to get? Are you looking at getting any of the engines, any of the rolling stock? And if so, which ones and why? So yeah, thanks a bunch. This is Derek with Worldwide Railroad. Have a great day, everyone.